are getting the kills. These are the 2 kills that they did get, and after that they didn't get the kill for like good 35 minutes. The game did slow down. They were unable to go in and try to close it out because they were like 15,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that did really well is they were behind, but they were really patient and they waited for the right fights to take.
Yeah, it was
this was the first move, right?
Yeah, that was that move that kind of set the tempo for the game for the next good 30-35 minutes, but it just opened up the map so much because you have Beastmaster, you have Chen. These are the heroes that are going to be dictating where the fights are going to be going. It's very difficult to invade where Beastmaster wants to play.
On one hand, it was very strange to see so much downtime in this game. On the other hand, you have 5 players on both teams who are imagining themselves in those booths for the grand finals, right? So one single move and you can break the game. And that's how XG has played up until this point, is that they will not take a bad fight. They will wait until the perfect information is presented, and then they will fight.
And they're also not really giving away a lot of pickoffs. Like sometimes it happens when players just die randomly on the map. But if everyone is actually doing what they're supposed to be doing, I think it's quite normal that there are no kills happening because there are no mistakes in the game.
Yeah, that's how you know 2 teams are very evenly matched. The sort of tempo, the pacing, it's not always that scrappy sort of Dota that people might love to watch. However, later in the game, when it did come down to those team fights where it felt like Medusa was practically unstoppable, that's where we saw just how clutch players had to be for dispelling the ice.
Yeah, we skipped pretty far ahead of the highlights here.
7 minutes to 40 minutes.
40 minutes, but that is how long it took in this game. This was a very close fight, I would say, where you have phenomenal Dota being played on both sides. What you don't see off-screen in this is the DM wraps around to go for the backline here, basically isolating Ame. You know, any skilled Dota player, any Dota player who's played a lot says, you're going on an Aegis Medusa. This is a... There it is. This is an insane thing to do. Why are you making this play? Well, it's because somebody is making the call. We heard their comms in one of the previous panels, and very clear comms from P-Vision, where they are making the bold call to go for the backlines. And slowly but surely, they try to chip away at Ame.
Yeah, we then see Extreme Gaming adjust from this one. They realize just how integral their supports are, just how much chaos this Bristleback could cause, and so they stuck more together as a unit. They weren't really afraid of that, looking at what the lineup of P-Vision could carry out in a team fight.
This was insane. I mean, the clip is still going. This is still the same clip, guys. They end up actually getting Satanic here because Ame is strong enough to continue to man up just with XM. And by the way, I think XM is the hidden hero of this game. He was so disruptive, and he was also that secondary carry that I think Extreme needed to carry the game, because there was so much focus on dealing with Ame from the side of P-Vision that if XM just went for this Aghanim Scepter build and scaled into the late game, there was clearly not enough to deal with both of these heroes at the same time.
Yeah, he definitely did go for the right choice. He understood that this game might be going late, seeing how their previous series did go with not too many kills, one big fight that can turn the whole thing around, and he did die only 1 time, and so did Jinkyu. Very impressive coming out from both of these players, and of course Ame on his Medusa. I really love the way that they are team fighting on side of Extreme Gaming, because you can always tell that they are taking care of each other, whether we're talking about, you know, some of the force staff, the cookies, whatever is necessary to be able to keep them alive just so that they can get in there. And this is going to be also another one of the longer fights where they initiate onto Satanic. I think XXS in this game had that killer instinct that you need to have from your offlaner, where he jumps in, he's not hesitating there for a second at all, and XM's going to be the one cleaning up. You can see the cart as well, which has been insanely good when they're sieging the high ground, but they're needing that extra save. Even no one talked about how it's very annoying for him to play the Beastmaster in these type of lineups with multiple saves where you initiate. There's a Medusa, then you have a Golem from Warlock, Stampede, you have as well Cart. So very difficult fights for them to take. And in this fight, they also have pretty much every single tool to be able to deal with the Bristleback, because he's very annoying. They do have Heart, they do have SNY on him, but you're also burning mana with the Disperser. Scotty, GD Poland Bag was available earlier. You have Break Mechanic from Silver Edge. You have Shiva's Guard on Centaur. So every single tool available that you need to have against Bristleback.
When the fights did happen, there were some really high skill things that were happening in them. For example, like I really do believe that DM, this is not an easy game for him. Like when the break mechanic comes out, I feel like he was still able to kite and do a lot in these fights. I feel like
Staff was alright, saving him a couple of times.
Yep, so he was even trying to dodge the break hit using the Outworld staff. And then on the flip side, XXS on Centaur, there was sometimes where he seemed a little trigger happy on the ultimate, but also we saw what happened when P-Vision focused him and killed him at the start of the fight. These are the only fights that P-Vision took where they actually won. So in the fights where he blinked in, hit that double stun, and then ulted out, like this is where he was the most successful. And what was setting up for this was XM on Puck, creating that chaos.
I mean, the thing with the puck is like the puck makes it very difficult for the opponents to maintain formation, right? So when you look at team fights, like how the team fights are taken, you look at how they are maintaining formation, and when the center goes in, they are always together. They go in together, they go back together. When the supports are being targeted by the Beastmaster, they all go back and protect the supports. Whereas when you are on the parry region side, you're playing against this puck, it's very hard for you to maintain your formation. So your bristleback's in front. So when the puck goes behind, it's like sometimes it's very difficult for him to come back because he couldn't come back. And they don't really have a lot of small little stunts that would allow them to actually kite forward, like the center. You know, he goes in, he goes back, he goes in, he goes back. It's very easy for them to do that. I think that is ultimately what made the team fight so difficult for them.
Now, all three cores just having a little bit of lost syndrome where they're like, I don't know exactly where to sit in this fight. How can I really do a lot? And I know in our breakdown, we jumped from about the 7-minute mark to the 40-minute mark, and something in between that was very spectacular happened, but we got someone just as spectacular to break it down for us.
Thanks, Nat. There's so much that goes into a win and a loss, and sometimes it's luck, sometimes it's skill, sometimes it's small mistakes. And I have a couple things to highlight from that very crucial 28-minute Roche fight. Now, the most important thing that happened here is this Observer and Sentry sat directly outside of the pit this entire fight, which gave Extreme Gaming crazy vision. And look at this, Ducal's actually had a Sentry. He just didn't put it down. It's a small mistake. Sometimes pro players overlook that stuff. So XXS jumps in to scout Roshan, stuns his opponents, and buys some time here. But as P-Vision starts retreating and grouping up, look at this crazy fatal bonds that happens here from X-Nova. Look at that. He links the Bristleback to the TA, to the Creep, down to the Chen. So all the damage they take ends up getting spread amongst them, which makes their damage really good. But watch this. As we see the TA go into the Roche pit here, he's going to get bashed by Roshan here. And then this 60-second cooldown roar comes off cooldown right here, which disarms him for 2 seconds. He's trying to all in on the Roche at this exact moment. And then he bashes the Beastmaster as he blinks in, trying to catch the puck. So Beastmaster says, okay, I have to roar here, because that's going to push people out and stun them. He gets the roar off, it pushes out XM, so he's not in the Roche pit. But unfortunately, as he goes to take the Aegis, the exact same time Ame runs in with his ulti, that's going to end up stunning him. So he can't grab the Aegis this whole time. And then the roar duration runs out. XSS is able to pick this up. So the sequence of events that led to this turnaround, the Sentry not being placed, the Roche bash, the Roche roar into the follow-up bash, all contributed to the Aegis being stolen there by Extreme Gaming and allowing them to get back into this game. Crazy series of events, but it absolutely mattered here in that last game.
Thank you so much, Bud. Yeah, that 28-minute mark right there.
Sixth player, huh? Wow.
The levels of it are so much. The fact that they're able to so closely keep this chain stun going, right? It's so easy to overlap it. It's so easy to just miss time by a split second, and that's enough if you don't get that Aegis
just
snatch.
felt so unlucky, you know, for them, because that actually mattered.